What's up, LTB Nation? Travis here again with Lucky Tackle Box. Depending where you're located in the country, as early as February all the way through May, as those water temps begin to heat up, fish go into a feeding mode, and that's known as the pre-spawn feed. They've got to beef up before they go lay those eggs. So today, I'm going to talk to you about targeting those fish using rip baits like Reaction Strike's XRM 80MD. Rip baits are so effective because the erratic motion really draws the attention from fish a long ways out, but then the ability to pause this bait in the water column gives the fish time to actually react and come up and strike that bait. All right, rigging. I start off with 8 to 12 pound mono or fluorocarbon, and then I pair that up on either a spinning or a bait casting outfit. But I need a medium to medium heavy action rod so I can really get the action out of that lure, but then I want a nice soft rod tip so that if I get any fish to bite, I don't pull that hook out of the fish's mouth. There's a little bit of absorption from that tip, and it allows that fish to get really to get hooked. Retrieval, just like we've talked about in previous rip bait videos, we want to just do 2 to 3 jerks on slack line so we can create that erratic motion, but then we give that bait a pause. The pause is what's going to give those fish time to react. Now the length of the pause depends on kind of the activity of the fish. As a general rule, earlier in that pre-spawn time, February, early March, that water's still cold, I give it a longer pause. I'll give it up to 5, sometimes even 10 seconds of a pause if I know there's fish in the area. But then as that water starts to warm up, those fish get more aggressive and start feeding heavily, you just got to give it a 1 to 2 second pause and they'll usually come up and react. Okay guys, when it comes to targeting these pre-spawn fish, location is probably the biggest factor. What happens is, no matter where you're located in the country, as we come out of the cold winter time, if we get a string of nice warmer days, that water starts to heat up, these fish will start thinking about spawning. A quick fact, spawning takes a lot out on a bass. It's very stressful on them. That's why they make sure that they are fully fed and fattened up before they go into the spawn mode. What happens is those fish are starting to think about spawning areas, which are the back of coves, the back of creek channels, any kind of flats with a gravelly bottom. And they're gonna start making their ways towards those areas. So for pre-spawn fish, you've got to figure out how to intercept those fish on their way. So what happens is those fish start off on their main lake points. So you identify those main lake points and then you move in from there. What I like to do is early on in the pre-spawn, I want to start from the main lake and start working to secondary points in any structure as I work back into spawning areas. But if it's later in the season, if we're into March, April, May, and I think these fish have already really traveled a lot, I'll actually go to the back of coves and I'll work my way out to try to find those fish. A quick side note to explain what secondary points are. When you have a creek channel, the first 2 points that are in the main lake on either side, those are going to be main lake points. But as you go into that creek channel, no matter how big that creek is or how big or small those little points are that go back in there, those are all secondary points. Earlier in the year, these fish are going to be out more towards the main lake, the deeper water. But as we get later in that pre-spawn towards the spawn, they're going to be way back a lot closer to the actual areas they're going to spawn. And the important thing is, once you locate where those fish are, if they're halfway in the back of coves and things, you can actually then repeat that process in all the other coves in the lake and generally be able to find those fish as well. When it comes to targeting those active pre-spawn fish, a rip bait like Reaction Strike's XRM 80MD is perfect with the erratic motion of getting those fish's attention, but then giving that nice long pause to give those fish time to react. Once again, guys, I'm Travis with Lucky Tackle Box. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, and to watch some more videos, hit one of the thumbnails on the page.